What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Pokey Office. My name is Colin. Today we're going to talk about what I've been buying, what I'm going to continue buying in 2024, moving into 2025. And while my journey might be a little bit different than yours now that I have a distributor and where I'm trying to spend as much money as humanly possible, I think we can just talk about what I consider to be good buys right now, what I consider to be medium buys right now, and what I consider to be bad buys right now. So, to be fair, personally, I am just completely done with Sword and Shield era. I think that ship has passed. Though I will say, I watched the Alpha Investments Rudy video. It was probably a week and a half ago where he was saying like there's still plays to be had with Lost Origin, with Astral Radiance, with Brilliant Stars, Silver Tempest, Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, Chilling Reign, like kind of the last half of Sword and Shield era, Crown Zenith even, where realistically in 4 to 5 years from now, like those sets are or could very easily double, triple, quadruple in value from where they're currently at. If you look back to Sun and Moon era, like some of those sets, Unified Minds, Unbroken Bonds, Cosmic Eclipse, Team Up is the obvious one. I mean, if you could have bought all those sets at $250 per booster box, you would be absolutely loving life right now. So if that continues to happen, if you're buying Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, Fusion Strike, Chilling Reign for that like $250, $300 range, there's a lot of room for that to grow. People are going to remember Sword and Shield. It was a unique era of time. It was during COVID. It had alternate arts, which were absolutely gorgeous. It's the last era of yellow border sets. So I could see a play happening there if you have lots of funds to focus your money in on some Sword and Shield stuff. But personally, I'm just done. I have my booster boxes of it back there in the display. I have one of each Sword and Shield box. From Chilling Reign forward, I have a minimum of 2 boxes each, but a few sets I have a little bit more of. A few sets I have 2 minimum. So 2 Evolving Skies, 4 Chilling Reign, 5 Fusion Strike, something like that. I'd have to check my spreadsheet to be absolutely sure. But it's not like I'm like heavily invested in Sword and Shield era, because I'm going to talk about this in an upcoming video. I'm really trying to churn and burn, which means everything in my collection and in my investments is on the table, trying to grow that so that I can start to actually build a bigger inventory without putting too much more money into my business. That's the next video. So we'll wait for that. Speaking of Scarlet and Violet era, though, moving forward, there's all the hype coming into Surging Sparks right now, which it's $205. Just yesterday on TCG Player, as I track it, Surging Sparks eclipsed the $200 market price mark, and that seems extremely high. Though people are still buying it. People can't get enough of Surging Sparks right now. It's the hot new thing. It's got the Pikachu chase. It's got the Latias chase. There's a lot to like about Surging Sparks, but at that same level, you're spending $200 per booster box. Lots of stores are actually like at $215, $220 from what I've seen. So that's a lot of money when you can get. Paldea Evolve just had a little bit of a restock on the distributors, so stores are going to have a little bit more of that. Obsidian Flames is going to have some due to the restock. Paradox Rift is still relatively cheap. Scarlet and Violet base set is still really cheap. What else? Temporal Forces is starting to work its way up. And then Twilight Masquerade actually has come down a little bit throughout this crazy thing. And Stellar Crown actually working its way up too. So I think there's opportunities here with how good people are realizing Scarlet and Violet era is. There's still some boxes to be had. So number 1 on my list is Paradox Rift. Everyone's talking about it. Brian at PokeNE talked about how he just spent another 30 grand or something like that on it, and I don't have near that amount of cash to spend on Pokemon cards right now, but I'm working my way there, and I just bought 2 cases of Paradox Rift just because it's cheap. It's a really fun set to open. It was kind of that intermediate area where pull rates were really easy at the start of Scarlet and Violet era. Paradox Rift kind of set the standard. This is going to get a little bit tougher. There's lots of special illustration rares. There's that Groudon illustration rare. I like the Roaring Moon special illustration rare. I like the Iron Valiant. I like the Altaria. I don't like the Garchomp that much, to be honest with you, but there's a lot of really good cards in the set. It's a fun set to open, and it's still, like, if you open a booster box Paradox Rift, you got a good chance of hitting a special illustration rare, which kind of makes it a fun box to open, in my opinion. I think it could do really well, especially given its price point right now in the marketplace. It's like $110-ish, $115 maybe. That's still really cheap. And moving forward, we've talked about this ad nauseum. I think that stores are no longer going to be selling Pokemon at $100 a booster box. I don't think it's going to happen for at least a year, maybe two, before we get like back onto the valley. I consider Pokemon this sine curve, if any of you math nerds are out there, where we go up and then we come down and then we go up and then we come down, except it's almost more like a little bit of a growing sine curve because it grows with inflation, it grows with the economy, and it grows as people come into the hobby. So realistically, it's more like starting here, then it comes up and then it comes down, but it's a little higher than where it was, and then it comes up, and then like the peaks always get a little higher, the valleys always get a little higher as we carry on in the Pokemon space. Paradox Rift is in the basement right now. I think it's a great, great purchase. Number 2 on my list, Temporal Forces. And I wasn't able to add too many booster boxes to the mix, but I did add some sleeved cases to the mix. I got them on a really good deal. Temporal Forces was kind of that starting point. Paradox Rift was like the stepping stone, in my opinion, but Temporal Forces, was like really the new benchmark of, this set just rocked me, because the pull rates just felt so extremely tough. Maybe that was just my experience. Maybe it was everyone's experience. But pulling a special illustration rare, I remember opening night of Temporal Forces on the Poke Office live stream. We opened up 12 boxes of Temporal Forces and only got like 4 special illustration rares. It was rough. And honestly, it made me have a little bit of a bitter taste in my mouth for Temporal Forces, but the more that it's like aged, it's like a fine wine or an aged cheddar, where it's like, this is actually a really fun set. I really, really do like the artwork in it. I like the ancient and future Pokemon. Even though I don't know if that gimmick is going to hold up long term, I still think it's a really cool gimmick that was like the early part, kind of middle part of Scarlet and Violet Era. Are people going to remember that? Not 100% sure, but I do think that those middle boxes with some great artwork are going to hold true as a good investment moving forward, especially when you're buying for under MSRP. Any Pokemon investment, in my opinion, buying under MSRP, life is just dandy. Okay, number 3, Obsidian Flames. And we all know Obsidian Flames is not my favorite set. I've said it lots. It's easy pull rates. It's a small set. There's not a ton of great special illustration rares. There's some great artwork like the Gloom, like the Ninetales, the Scizor, really cool artworks. And of course, it's a Charizard set. I didn't mention the Cleffa, which is maybe one of my favorite illustration rares of Scarlet and Violet Era so far. But Charizard, it's a Charizard set. Ultimately, Charizard sets typically do well. Though if you look back, I'm kind of changing my mind here as I'm talking. If you look back to Darkness Ablaze, it doesn't do very good. The Obsidian Flames Charizard is way better than the Darkness Ablaze Charizard, in my opinion. And Obsidian Flames just got a little bit of that restock action. Obsidian Flames is already starting to cook in the market price. It's already at like $115 a booster box. It was at $90 back in the day when it first came out. So that's a nice little gain that people have seen if you had the wherewithal to buy it right when it was at its lowest, $90, $95. Nice little gain you had on Obsidian Flames. And moving forward, I think Obsidian Flames could just continue to grow and grow and grow. Leading me to maybe the last one, and there might be a side note. Paldea Evolved. With this restock, I ordered 2 booster box cases. I'm trying to order a couple more from the distributor and from other people that I buy from other platforms, because I just think Paldea Evolved is really, really solid, especially when we can get in at a decent price. If you take a look at the numbers, I'd say that we're like a week into that restock being announced. Like the first time I saw it was Brian at Pokeyeni, but other people have talked about it. And then I talked to the distributor and I talked to the guys I buy from, and they were like, yeah, there's a little bit of a restock. And we've seen the price come down just ever so slightly, like by $10 or so. I think Paldea Evolved could definitely be be a play. I really like the set. I like the chase for the Magikarp. I like all the special illustration rares. I like the illustration rare trilogies, like the evolution lines of the starting Pokemon in Paldea. So I think it's a really, really strong set. And so I'm trying to bolster my stock of it. Like I said, I don't have a ton of stock of stuff. Like, I should caveat that with, I have a decent amount of stock, but I'm not like some of the big players who have basements full of Pokemon and shelves full of booster box cases. Like, that's not me. I've grown from small town. I started off with like $5,000, $10,000 to work with, and I bought, and that is the reason why I've been working so hard, doing this YouTube channel, doing the store, buying and selling, trying to churn and burn as much as I can, because I don't really particularly want to put more money in myself. I want the business to continue growing and growing and growing. Just as Pokemon does that sine curve where it continues to go up and up and up, I want my business to do that too. So that's why everything is on the table. It's coming out in a video next week where we're going to talk about the journey. I'm kind of looking forward to that. It's probably going to be my most like open and honest video that I've ever shared with you all. So if you're looking forward to that, hit the like button for me and leave a comment below. That's all I got. So what was it? Paradox Rift, Temporal Forces, Paldea Evolved, and Obsidian Flames, and a little bit in reverse order, but pretty meta. I mean, there's a reason people always talk about it. It's not just because they have hot takes. It's because, like, hey, these are good sets. You can buy them for a good price. And I think the most important thing to mention at the end of this video is that Surging Sparks, Twilight Masquerade, Stellar Crown, I don't particularly think Stellar Crown is a great thing, but it's starting to work its way up in the market price. So that would be like the asterisks. Stellar Crown is still available, so that might be a really good purchase. Surging Sparks is just so expensive. Twilight Masquerade, even though it's coming down a little bit, it's still expensive. So at some point, it's too much. I don't think those sets are actually too much, but I think there's more opportunity in other sets. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that Surging Sparks is a bad buy. I'm not trying to say that Twilight Masquerade is a bad buy, because they're strong sets. They are. And whether you like them or not, Twilight Masquerade is a strong set. Surging Sparks is a strong set. I don't think they're bad buys. I just personally want to keep some of my money going into some of the older sets that have some more opportunity from my perspective. Anyways, let's open up some packs. It's been a while, and I just love opening Pokemon cards. So let's get it. All right, I got a little bit of a curveball here. So I got this Blood Moon Ursaluna EX box, and I got the new Pikachu collector's tin. I'm gonna check out what packs are inside both. Okay, so inside the Blood Moon Ursaluna tin, you got 2 Surging Sparks, decent. Scarlet Violet base, that maybe is a little disappointing. Stellar Crown, so 4 packs. That's not a bad selection. Inside of the collector's tin, we got 2 Surging Sparks, 3 Stellar Crown, and Twilight Masquerade. Okay, that is pretty solid. So that collector tin, actually not half bad at all. We're gonna start off, I think, with, well, we'll start off with the 1 Scarlet and Violet base set, then we'll get to the Stellar Crown, and then we got 1 Twilight Masquerade as well. Is that right? Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I would like to pull something awesome, but if I had my choice, it probably wouldn't be from Scarlet and Violet base set, because what's the best card here? Is Miriam probably still? Nothing anyway, so we don't have to worry about it. Scarlet and Violet base set is actually a lot of fun to open, but my goodness, the prices have crashed on the single cards. Like, just not worth it at all. Okay, let's get it. Stellar Crown. Stellar Crown. I got an Ace Spec card. Sparkling Crystal. So it's a start. We'll count it as a hit. We'll count it as a hit. 3 more Stellar Crown. Or, yeah. Keep getting confused. But I do actually quite enjoy that collector's chest pack selection. Not bad at all. Nothing there. Nothing there. The collector's chests actually are still available on some of the distributor websites. So I'm thinking about stocking up on some of those because that's just, it's not a bad price. The Joltik, I like that too. Not bad. The prices are pretty decent, especially for that pack selection. I might have to go in on some of that. So, okay, let's get it. Last pack of Stellar Crown. Then we're on to one pack of Twilight Masquerade. This is it. I pulled the Greninja last week on the live stream. It was sick. Absolutely sick. And that card is really, really good. It is a really, really fun card, especially pulling it. It's amazing. Pinsir. All right, this case is full of the illustration rares. I'd take a Latios out of Surging Sparks. See, this is the good part. We got 4 Surging Sparks. Let's go, baby. If there was ever a time for one-time dealer, this is it. This is it. Surging Sparks, here we come. Let's get something. I kind of just want to see that rainbow border or the Latias. Ultra rare. I mean, that's a good start, I'm going to be honest. Good start. The gold hyper rare Pikachu is still worth a lot of money. Lots of cards are still worth a lot of money in Surging Sparks, so keep the hits coming, baby. Am I right? Or am I right? Ugh, nothing there. 2 packs left. 2 packs left. All right, come on. Let's get it. Nothing. Nothing. 1 pack. Last pack magic. Can we get last pack magic? Are they going to reprint Pokemon cards? Are we going to get a reprint at some point? Miracle headset. That's it. It sure feels like they need to. But I don't know. It's been a very strange space lately. This is what we got. 5 hits, 2 illustration rares, and the Latias. Ultra rare. We will take it. Anyways, that's going to do it for me at the Poke Office. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to hit all the buttons. The subscribe button, the like button. You know, you leave a comment. Let me know what you think, and I will see you on the next video. Appreciate all your support. Peace.